All right, so I picked up Starlight from the boys, made by NECA Toys. I picked her up today when I saw her because we took a look at the recent Frankenstein release, the McCready, the boys Homelander, and then now Starlight. I actually found a different Walmart with a fresh stock. It appears all the Walmarts in my area are getting 4 of each, and it's going to be exclusive to Walmart for 30 days, and then you'll be able to buy these online and in other stores and specialty shops after that point. So it's a timed exclusive. Real quick, though, I do want to mention I just reviewed Homelander. There is something going on that was a little bit off. The Homelanders that were at the new Walmart, it was a fresh stack of 4. 3 of them kind of had that puffy look, and there was one of them that the head sculpt looked amazing. I was shocked. It looked not totally different, but it was so much more like the actor, and I couldn't understand what was going on. So then I realized some of them, I don't know if it's, see, when this material warms up, it actually gets more pliable. So let's say the head is still warm, or I don't know, I'm assuming. Let's say it's still warm and somehow it's getting squished a bit. Some of the Homelanders kind of have that squished and it puffs his face out a bit. So I actually came home and I was thinking about it because I was looking at him to see what was going on with that. And I noticed mine had like a little puffy face. So I hit him with a hairdryer and I just pinched his cheeks because when he, like I said, when they warm up a bit, when you warm up this type of material, you can actually pinch this. Right now it's rock hard. You wouldn't expect it, but when you warm it up, it moves just like this. It's pliable just like this, maybe more so, depending on how you warm it up. So just a little tip, if your Homelander is a little puffy, hit him with a hairdryer and then maybe pinch his cheeks and put his head on there. I don't know. Some of them are looking fantastic, and then a lot of the sculpts are looking a little puffy. Now let's go to one of my biggest complaints with the boys figures. This is all you get. NECA is probably the best bang for your buck on the market now because they release the, I would say, the most characters at the most affordable price with probably some of the best likeness, paint jobs, and value for your bang with accessories. Now, the boys is a tricky one because I can't really see them doing a lot of variants with Starlight, which makes sense why they just gave us Starlight and then the same head, just different eyes. And they didn't even do anything fancy with any glow-in-the-dark paint or any like really popping paint. It's just kind of white with a black dot. It gives the desired effect, but it's nowhere near as cool as the box art has, let's say, the Photoshop job. Or on the back of the box, you have a cooler looking, is that it up there? Yeah, kind of a cooler looking Starlight. Here's the box though. It's got a little bit of a premium look, but it is kind of bland, in my personal opinion. Anyhow, so I think that's why Starlight only comes with the duplicate head just with different eye paint. And then, I don't know why, I guess I have to rewatch it again, but her wrist guards, they're identical except for these 2 gold, I don't know, just the different material design here, the gold stripe and the gold stripe. Because the ones that come on her arm, it's just the straight material with the symbol. This one has the symbol, it's all the same, except for on each side. It's got that gold flanking it on each side. So I guess whichever armband you like better, but that's the only real difference. And I think that's kind of lame for accessory-wise. I think Starlight's probably one of the worst when it comes to accessories for NECA and likeness. They did a good job, but I don't really think she looks a ton like the actress. Again, they did a good job. She's kind of there. I don't know. I think the features are a little soft. See, sometimes in the profile, in certain angles, I can see it. But again, for the price point, yeah, I think it's more of like a 7 or 8 out of 10, in my opinion, than than a home run. Like Frank is a home run. Even McCready, he's one of my favorites. He's still not a home run, but I don't know. Starlight just isn't popping. And you get kind of ugly articulation with her as well. I mean, she's got a small frame, so you've got this ugly articulation in the elbow, and then you have I mean, this is solid. It's pliable, but it's solid as far as trying to get her legs to move. So it leaves me a little baffled why they went with the ugly articulation here. I wish they would have done something different, because you don't need double articulation. And this is something I've always wanted to just maybe interview toy makers and see why they decide to go certain routes, because you need the articulation if it goes along with additional articulation higher or lower in the leg. Like having a leg where there's no hip articulation, but you have double joint, triple joint, all these other joints in the bottom, you can't utilize it, because if this is locked, you can't use this. So kind of what's the point in doing it? Unless maybe they want her on her knees. That's kind of screen accurate. Anyway, so I'm not really sure why they did that. Her legs are kind of ugly. She's got like that April O'Neil articulation going on. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if these are April's legs that they're reusing. That would make sense for them to get the bang out of their buck. I don't know. So that's the upskirt shot to give you an idea of what's in the way. Moving forward and back. Yeah, the articulation isn't all that great. A little bit ugly. And lack of accessories. Even though the likeness, let's say it's not dead on with the actress, it's still not like an ugly figure. So I think if you're a fan of the boys, I would have skipped on her if it wasn't for wanting to do the review to keep it in line with what I got going on with the Homelander. And also, if they're going to make additional characters, you might as well get her to complete the set. And it's not one where it's like, nah, it's totally trash. If it was totally trash, I would have definitely skipped it. Anyhow, she's definitely got a cool cape. The way it flares here was a good design. I don't know if you can kind of see the way I'm holding it. It comes out and it flares over. And the reason that's cool is because the way it goes over her shoulder and then lays like this, it lays nice. Just that little bit of the angle, how it's cut. So she's got soft goods cape. Oh, that's another thing. Let's say you're popping the head off. This is something that, it's another wild con that I've never seen NECA do before. Let's say you're popping the head off to put this head on. This is normally a double ball peg where you have a ball peg that goes into the neck, and then this ball goes into the head, and it keeps the head on nice and tight. Now, this ball peg is glued with a nice thick solid layer of glue right in that hole. So this ball peg actually doesn't move. I mean, you can see the neck moving itself, but it doesn't move. Normally it will. I mean, Homelander's got a big old one. So, but imagine, you get the idea. See how it moves? So you get additional attitude when you're posing him. But with Starlight, for whatever reason, we'll pop on this alternate head. You line it up, pop it on. For whatever reason, you're not getting anything. I mean, you have to fight it. Maybe mine is screwed up. Take a look at yours. Leave a comment if you have this figure. Is yours glued in there? Because she's got no head movement. I mean, you can kind of barely do something. I don't know. You can barely do anything. Even when you move it, it's just moving because the material's soft. It's not moving to actually stay. You can look down a little and look up a little. I think that's it. So yeah, that's different. Here's the head sculpt with the blazing eyes. And if you can tell, one of the eyes are glossy. It's got a dab of super gloss on it, and the other is regular. I did the same with the normal head. The eye on the right has a dab of gloss, and the left eye is how it comes out of the box. I do that just to add a little bit of that realistic shine, just for the display. Looks better that way. Anyhow, neat little trick. I had it here a minute ago. I think I moved it, but I was going to show you the glue. I show it off in the Homelander. Anyway, she's got better articulation than Homelander when it comes to lifting the arms up. Her arms do go up as high as you need, back as high as you need. You get the double joint, even though it looks ugly. You got a hinge and a swivel at the wrist, as well as the torso articulation. Can move back, exposing some detail and color work there in the outfit. You can go side to side. It looks like you get a good amount of side to side crunch and forward and back. It's likely a double ball peg, kind of like the neck, but bigger. And it's stiff too, so you got to kind of break it in some, and then you can get her to move around good side to side. And then, let's see, yeah, she moves forward a good amount. That'll be covered up by the cape, so she'll move forward a good amount, and then she can go back a good amount. So that articulation's good. There's nothing in the waist. I mean, there might be. Yeah, there is a turn, a spin in the waist. There's nothing else there. And her thighs are locked based on the skirt here. It's pliable, but again, right when you get to this point, there's no give. So that's pretty much it. And then the knee is double jointed, so you do get a bend there. I guess if you were doing a flying pose, I don't think she's a flying character like that, but I guess if you're gonna do some sort of flying pose, you can utilize the articulation for that. She's got the little design on her shin, and then her ankle does get a lot of articulation. Flex forward, you can flex back, and then you get a side-to-side rocker here to put her in certain stand-in positions like that, you know. Anyway, so that's it. You get these cream or tan color boots with the gold emblem. You get some skin showing. You got her skirt, gold there. She's got a gold pouch that's glued on. And then her arm gauntlets. It's got good detail at least. And then her symbol there, her necklace. And that's pretty much it. And then her soft goods cape. Just a bunch of gold dots. I should probably show it, though. I was going to do it off camera, but you pop her arms off. This arm. Pop her arms off at the nub there by her elbow. And then you can gently plug it back in. And then you now have the other gauntlet. This is a bit different, though. See, this little white part, they did this on Homelander, too. I guess it's just to try to hide their articulation. I don't like how they did it on Homelander because it looks too distracting, but it makes me wonder because they have that part there. I figured normally this would go up or to the side, but then that little white part kind of gets in the way when you're bending her arm. So I'm not really sure there on where this emblem is. It supposed to stick out like this? Or does it go on the inside of the arm? I don't know. It goes however you want it. And then she does get fisted hands. So she gets 2 pairs of fisted hands, and then she's got 2 pairs of open hands. She's a tiny little thing. Mine has, it looks like a little bit of a paint rub, some like white there. But that's pretty much it for Starlight. That neck articulation is just a pain in the ass. If you're a fan of the boys, I gotta say, I do give it a recommend, even though it's probably one of the weaker NECA releases, and that primarily has to do with some of the ugly articulation, or less desirable articulation, visually less desirable. The neck peg, which is oddly glued, and the lack of accessories, you really don't get much. One little hint or tip is Walmart has these cases. If you want to keep some of your alternate heads so you're not having them all over the place and banging around, you can if you want to. If you're going to double stack them, you just get the coin baggies or the weed bags. You just pop the head in there, pop it in your case, double stack them. That way they're not rubbing against each other if you're going to double them up. And you can store the heads in the containers here. These are $3 containers. And you can also store some of the accessories. You can put hands and weapons, for example, in some of these. These are only $1. And for me, it's perfect when it comes to having them organized and easily accessible for whatever reason, for its reviews or changing display options. They work perfect, so a little tip there. And I don't think I went in close on her head sculpt, but you've got some pliable hair here. There's some nice work, though, in the sculpt job on the curls. And if her head moved, it's pliable enough to kind of go with the flow. So you can put her at with some attitude. So anyway, like I said before, you get some of this Mod Podge Super High Gloss. And I dotted her eye here. And this eye is how it comes fresh out of the box. You can see it's kind of flat and it's a bit lifeless. You add some gloss to it, and it's got that more realistic reflection look. So I'm just going to go in here. Harder to do. What you can do is do both of the eyes and do a touch on the lips if you wanted to get a little bit of, a little bit more of a realistic look going on. Again, it's just a little tiny touch up. Sometimes it helps a lot depending on the print work they do on the eyes. So that's Starlight here. You guys leave your thoughts and opinions. What do you think of Starlight? I definitely got to say, one of the weaker releases, but a recommend if you're going to get the boys lineup. I'm excited to see who they do next. I think Butcher needs to be one for sure. And then maybe if they work on the more visually appealing, and also double up on this, do a bloody one. It wouldn't hurt, with a different head sculpt. Again, I don't know what they can do with her. Utilizing the same sculpt or some of the same sculpt, that saves on the tooling and it allows them more opportunity to add accessories. But we'll see. All right, thoughts and opinions below. I'm out.